stick it to them. Hey people, how you doing out there? I have no idea. Sorry about that. I have no idea. And every time I set up my stand, it's like things basically are drawn to it. The stand, to the bottom, like everything gets tangled around it for some reason. All right, I gotta clean my desk up a little bit here, so I'm gonna take some of this cardboard off my desk because I'm done with all building on the house. And as I said before, I mentioned who I am. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird, and my company is IOEG Technology Screens. The house we're building here involves a screen. We're not just building these for the sake of just building these. This does involve a projection screen. The computers behind me, they also involve see-through screens. I'm actually using one. Excuse me. I'm using one for my setup, but right now I have the gamer paint on there because that's when I use showing off the customer's product, what it looks like and what they're going to get. There we go. Just trying to get all this stuff off my desk. And I think I'm going to do one of my tiles from my desk, so I have to go order new ink to get the new printouts for the desk. I'm going to do one of these tiles. So that way I can get an idea of what I'm doing. Because usually that's how it works for me. And finishing out my case for my fallout case, beginning the first stages of coating it black. So I begin my shadows. I do it on black, the shadows work better that way. And I have to basically corrode this whole entire thing with this paint to get that looking fantastic. Alright, put my stuff up. And I still have a promo demonstration to do for the advertising firm, which I haven't had time to do because I got caught up in this right here. But yeah, all these objects you see in front of you are just not being built for the sake of it being built. They're being built because they involve a screen. So there's a hologram screen or visual effect, I say visual effect screen, that we're working on that is almost completely see-through. And it involves that cottage and everything else we build involves that thing, involves that screen. So that's why we're putting that together. That involves a new technology, a new crystal clear technology. It's almost crystal clear visual screen. We're going to be showing off soon, but we need the props have to be done. So all that goes into basically developing screen paint is building our props so we can actually market and sell our products better. That's why if you look at my website took hours, and I mean hours to complete, days, matter of fact I say days to complete, because I put a lot of effort and a lot of time into my websites when I build them, because I want the customer to not just go to a boring website and read some boring nonsense at the end of the day. Go to our websites, you'll see all different types of designs, backgrounds. You'll see all kinds of stuff that interacts with your mouse, which everybody right now, put that in right now, interacts with the mouse. You'll notice in our specification sheets, we have tons of information, links to screens outside, inside, on ultra short throw, just about everything. The advertising company was on our website. They said, man, amazing. We have a lot of stuff on there. There are 2 websites we built. We're on a 3rd one pretty soon. On these websites, chock full of tons of information on everything you could possibly think to help you out. So that's the way a website I feel should be built. You know, not something where you got a bunch of this, that, and the other on there. You should have something on there that the customer can understand what they're buying. On top of that, I see that 2 of the sites that I did, one that's not there anymore, but the other one, y'all don't know how to set up a search engine optimizer. Clearly you don't. I can check that on your website. I can see if your search engine optimizer, it tells you about your traffic, where your site connects to. So if you've noticed that we put a Google video in, they pop up all over. So I mean, a YouTube video, it might be Google. A YouTube video, and they spread all over the place. They don't know how to work the search engine optimizer. You don't know how to operate your domain name. Your domain name is your address. They don't know how to go into search engines, and there's an area in there that you can click. That's an application form that allows you to submit your domain name to these search engines with certain keywords attached to it so they find you faster. See? It's more than just, at the end of the day, it helps to know computers. It does. It helps to know computers if you're basically want to run a business, especially e-commerce, online business, because it's more than just that. Wix, I love Wix, but Wix gets me when they tell you that all you have to do is set it up and boom. No, there is so much more to that. It is not even funny how much more it is to that. There's a lot you have to do. There's so much more to that. You're not going to be. There's so many apps. There's so much stuff you have to do if you want to get your website to the next level. I want to see what the Fallout farm looks like. I do want to put one together today. All right, let me see. Oh, glue gun here. Geez, wrong place for glue gun to be at. I'm going to use this for something. Definitely use that for something. I'm taking my new Fallout. This is going to be my Fallout steampunk PC that I'm building. So this was already done. That's the first frame form of it's done. I'll place it over here. I'll place it over here. Switch. I made it ahead of time for my Fallout steampunk PC when I get around to getting it done. But now we're working on it. We have it already. This is the color we're going to use for this. It's going to be for that framework over there. That's just ready to go. All right, let me see. Now, choose to watch, and you know, it's up to you. We're going to start loading our videos on our website. My videos that I have here, we haven't had time because there's a lot of videos, and I have to take the time out to load my videos on my website, which I'm going to be doing this week. The website is designed with that search engine optimizer in there to advertise our videos everywhere. We have a website, and I have not had time to load the videos to the website. So right now I'm in there building another video showcase to upload all the videos and send them over there so they can even get more exposure. And with the advertising firm coming on pretty soon, actually I've got to take that screen down there, so we'll do some demonstrations off of that and the other screen. So I do some promo demonstrations so they can basically, I got to print that out too. I got to print out my the spreadsheet. They did a whatchamacallit, to advertise my company. We can't show you that because we have weirdos on our channel. Sorry about that. We do have some weirdos on here, and the weirdos at the end of the day try to ruin things for us. But just to let you know, weirdos, and you know who you are. I told you it's not hard to figure out where you're at, because we apply for something. We get something called need to know. I didn't even know this thing didn't exist. So if you don't know, if someone calls in any agent, anything about you, and they try to come in as trying to hide their information, whatever, there's something called a need to know. We can actually contact that agency with a complaint about that person, and they have to give you that information, as in any phone call records, text messages, emails, anything, so you can take it and use it against them in court. called Need to Know. So, gentlemen, I went back into the backlogs of places you contacted, and I found out some very interesting information about who was doing what and who was contacting who. So, yeah, just so you know, see you in court. They get all scared and they run. Well, you did it at the end of the day. You think you're going to be anonymous caller? Anonymous callers don't work. No, that stuff does not work at all, period. All right, let me see where I want to put these at. I like these here, but I think I'm going to put these over here, over there. All right, put my cottage together. I got to do some plant control over there on my other PC because my plants are a little bit out. I want them to be coming out, but not that far out. I got to do some trimming over there. So this is our enchanted cottage. And this also involves a high-tech, almost invisible, like seriously invisible, clear new technology we're working on. We want to be able to see the cottage crystal clear on the other side, and also too be able to do the visual effects. So I'm putting in some more plant life in here for my cottage. Now my cottage here was all built from scratch. We built it from Amazon boxes. So that's some boxes from Amazon, and I basically cut out what I needed. So we didn't have, like, I started off with a box. This is all built from scratch. I got a couple more I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to be doing a windmill cottage. It's going to be all connected together. So we're going to have the I forget what they call the thing again. It's not a windmill. It's for the wheel, the water wheel on the side that splashes the water over. They use that. That's a form of use of basically grinding wheat and flour. They use that too also. What is the part of a windmill that actually pushes water? What is that called? You kind of explain to me. I already know what it does. We didn't answer all that. That would not be it. AI is way too intelligent for its own good. A wind will believe. Wouldn't that be the, yeah, that's too modern. Medieval windmill that uses a water device or windmill device that operated by water. I looked at that one. Here we go. Now they came close. Medieval windmill that uses a water device. There we go. Oh my goodness, that's that hard to look up. Water wheel. Okay, that's just plain obvious. Water wheel. All right, and we know. I got like 40,000. I feel sorry for people who have to use this for research. Well, matter of fact, I use it for research myself. 40,000 different ways, which is good because then that gives me a better understanding. But yeah, that's a lot on all the information they gave me. All right, so we're putting our flowers in right now. We have the floor. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Where is my floor? Where is my floor? I don't see my floor. Ah, man. Did we lose the floor? Oh, no, we got it. We got the floor. We got the floor. We got the floor. Can't put the floor in yet until we finish that. Okay, we can't put the floor in. The floor can't be put in yet. All right, so I don't have to worry about painting this because somebody said, well, how are you going to get to the cottage if you have all these flowers around? Easy. Our house, if I don't break my house in the process of doing this, my house comes up, keeps my scenery differently. there. I have access to that. Now, we just got our glow-in-the-dark paints. We don't need a glue gun anymore. We're done with the glue gun. And we have, I'm going to remove what we have from here to here. I am going to go in and start the process. Did I put that, when I got done that brush, did I put that brush back in? I did put the brush back in. All right. So I'm thinking about kind of a lot of websites. I'm not building me another website. I have one for gaming. I think I'm doing one for arts and crafts because I want to redirect my stuff to my websites. It's just we get more exposure. Be a lot more exposure if we do it that way. And that's what I want to do. I like doing the cottages here. I do. I like doing the builds for the cottages here. But I want to add more to it. I want to be able to show up in different places. Right now I'm on several different form sites for building with cardboard. If you like this hobby, these are our more room here. This might need a bigger desk. Is this screen on? It is over there. That's crazy. Let's see. We're fighting stuff over there. Let's see what's going on in his channel right now. I got you, buddy. Right on. There we go. Put your Mr. Bean on. You like to watch your cartoons. There you are. And you got your automatic toy coming in. You got a toy coming. You can chase around now. It moves back and forth and all that. I saw somebody on Facebook with it and asked him where they got it from. So now he's got one coming in for him. I don't want to rip this box up too much because I can use the cardboard on this box. Where's one of my blades? I can use cardboard. That cardboard's nice. There we go. Now I'm careful about how I open boxes up. I just rip them open. Now I'm so careful now because I can use the boxes to build stuff with. I got a Fallout bomb to build from some cardboard. I'm going to build their exact replica. Not exact replica. I'm probably going to add my own 2 cents to it on how I want to do it. So these are the different greens we have, different colors. White. I usually use this company right here. Painting our cottage. I can't wait. I've been dying to do this. And my flowers over there. And then we got a nice little cardboard box, which we're definitely going to be using this for something. And I unplug my glue gun because we don't need a glue gun right now. Glue gun not need it for anything right now. Let me get rid of that. Now, I had someone the other day say, well, you're building a PC using that? This is going to be a PC? Apparently, he didn't see the PC's built. So, yeah, this is an actual PC, right? It's a PC case right here. I know if for some people look at this like it doesn't look like much, but this, out of the way here, this is what they turn into. That's one right there, the freezer box, and there is the jungle over there. That's what they turn into. I got to do trimming in there badly. That needs wire management, but that's what the cases turn into. So the person who made the comment, he wasn't rude or nasty about it. He says, I just can't believe that's the case. Yep, that's the case. They're called, basically, they're called racks, or torture racks, or utility racks, because they were designed, first things first, they were designed so a person who basically had to do any kind of diagnostic checking on hard drives or computer parts, it gives them access to the parts faster. Right there. He can work on them, do a little diagnostic checking on it, whatever he has to do, benchmark his graphic cards, whatever, and he can do it right from there because the parts were there. And then somebody got the idea saying, hey, that'd make a fantastic PC case, and that's how it started. It's a company called Danger Dan, or Danger Dan or Dan, what are they? But anyway, they started doing these cases like that. All right. Yes, go fight his fish. Why am I always on camera? You got to fight the fish. You know, no one can see you fight the fish. Unless I point you in the direction of you fighting the fish. This is blue here. What's my phone? All right. I think I want to do. Wow, that's not kind of a Smurfy blue. It's a Smurfy blue. I think what color I want to do my house. I think I want to do my house in purple. I'm not gonna need all this. Definitely not. Should I go with a thinner brush than this? I'm definitely gonna need a thinner brush. That is not gonna be too. Definitely not gonna work. That's too wide of a brush. For the back, it would be perfect. Not for the front. I need a thinner brush. That's just not gonna work. Much better. I am haunted by that Fallout build because I can hear that song crystal clear in my head. Every time I talk about it, I hear that song. We got to build it. I'm definitely going to build it anyway. We get a 240. I never had a 240 water cooler before. I didn't even know they made it, honestly. I don't really look for those parts like that. I'm a creature of habit, so I usually stick to the same thing, which are 280. I'm used to working with the 240s. And I'm like, wait a minute, they make a freaking, so they make a 280. And there it is, 280. And they're not expensive too, like 50, I saw one for $54. I was like, that's the same price I paid for the one over there. I could have got bigger fans. There, you can believe it or not, but there's actually a crack where the door and the hinges go at, right down there. And I'm gonna need a really fine brush to get in there and detail the daylights out of this place. But that's what I wanted. I wanted to do something extremely crazy detailed. You know, when people see me build those box PC setups, and it's a lot of big boxy parts on it, but I can build small pieces with tiny little parts attached to it. Just follow my Lord's instructions, what he tells me to do, and it works out exactly as he tells me it does, and it work out. I should have the light on. Really should have the light on. You know, it's interesting as I do this. Lord speaks to me and talks to me about things. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting that when we do this type of work, if I mention key words, we see reactions. We see reactions because why? Because the screen paint is the one thing that we design and do that they tried really hard to try to disrupt and couldn't do it. And when we mention this is being designed for a screen, automatically get upset and angry. Because that's the one thing they tried so hard. They didn't try to disrupt this. They didn't try to disrupt the PCs. They made dumb comments. Of course, that's what they usually do anyway. But they didn't try to disrupt that. They tried to disrupt screen paint. Every time we mention that keyword in screen paint, they get upset and angry because it's something they were not able to accomplish. Well, Satan never wins. Satan is a loser. That's what he does. He's a professional loser. And you are who you follow. And so that's why they get upset and angry. That's why I know that I mention certain keywords and I watch and I see them get mad and leave. That's because they're upset because they couldn't get rid of the product. They couldn't destroy the product. Well, let me tell you something. You got to go before God. That's what you're going to do. Not me, God. He's the one who gave it to me. So you're going to go before him, and you're going to have to tell him at the end of the day, I want you to stop the blessings going to that Christian at the end of the day. Because you feel that our blessings are scams, right? Which is interesting because you're talking to Almighty God. Because if you're telling them they're scams, that means you're telling God himself that he's a scammer. And that he's a rip-off artist. Wouldn't that be true? That'd be true, right? All right then. And that's what you'd be telling God. And you wouldn't tell God that, would you? No, because that's the one person at the end of the day, number one, that protects you from Satan, who even though you feel is your friend, is trying to kill you. And basically, he's the keeper of life and death, which I don't think that's the person I want to get in an argument with. So, interesting, right? Is how I'll sit here and I'll be thinking the Lord says, tell them this. And I tell it. Let them know. All efforts for nothing. Now, the reason why this is not to paint it on, this is just to coat it, because the house is already painted. This is so it all glows. We have all this is going to be done. The casing that's going around this is designed to make it look like it's in the night. So when you look inside the case, it could be all this light out here. It's designed when you look into that case, it's nighttime inside that case. That's why we're designing them that way. We're actually building the entire world around them. And that technology we have, one of them is going to be fluorescence. We have a fluorescent technology. They're visible screens. You can see right through them. Crystal clear. New version of AdTech. Just going to use to advertise this. Why? Because we need for people, when they look through it, they have to be to see what's on the other end. And what better way to advertise the technology than to put objects behind it that they can see crystal clear and still see a visual effect at the exact same time. I can even put them in windows, and I can project it. We'll put a projector right there and hook it up to projector mapping applications, and I can put ghosts and people running everything I want, any one of these windows. Because we have the software and technology right over there. So I can project a map anything I want in here. As long as that screen's embedded in here somewhere, I can actually project what I want in there. Now you see the bigger picture of what we're building. This isn't the cottage. Cottage is fun. This has started a whole new hobby for me. But the bigger picture is the technology of engineering. These are fun. I like building these. I like the medieval era. I was looking at something on there, a document about how people built their homes in that era. You know, there's no Home Depot, none of that stuff. You can't order this and order that. You had to figure a way how to build shelter. And you know, it's interesting too, on top of that, which is also too true, very true. Those historical buildings are still standing today, and they didn't have any of the technology we have now. Let a building we build now today, see if it'll last that long. It won't even stand that long. It'll fall apart. That tells you right there. That tells you right there. And it's true. I sat there and I pondered on that. I said, you know what? That's interesting. A lot of these historical buildings that were built were not even anywhere close to the technology we have today, are still standing in this century. But I guarantee you, if you calculate the same amount of time we live in now compared to what they had then, none of these buildings will stand. Not one of them. Every single one will collapse. They built things right back then. That's why you got some people who talk about they got refrigerators from the 50s that are still running right now today compared to all this high-tech. I don't want a high-tech fridge. You know what I want? I want an old-fashioned fridge. I like to get a retro, like a retro refrigerator, because they're still running. These new refrigerators now with all these different parts and attachments and sensor systems and all that crap. Like, I really need a window to see what's inside my refrigerator. It's called a door. Open it up, look inside, go, oh, okay, there's stuff in there. They literally have a see-through door so you can see your stuff inside your refrigerator. I mean, really? I looked at that and I was like, wow, whoever buys that, man, I got jokes for you for days. Like, why would you need that for? Open the door. Oh, but it saves energy. If you can see, the window can't be that big because you're not going to be. There's people who open up a refrigerator and they still got to search and find stuff in there. What makes you think you're going to be able to open a window? They open up look in a window. My brother had a refrigerator cost $15,000. $15,000 for a refrigerator. We were just looking at him as he's explaining the refrigerator to us. We're thinking, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. It was one of those Wi-Fi refrigerators that came out. And when you can order food and stuff like that. But here's the kicker about those refrigerators. You have to be in select areas to use that technology. So you can't use that technology if you're living in certain neighborhoods. It won't work. Now they had ones with built-in TVs on it. He had a built-in TV on it. He could basically order food, you know, right from the store. The refrigerator had some kind of detection system you put in. I don't even know how that would even work. But anyway, basically he was running low on something, you know what I mean? He just had to type it in. Oh, he had to type it in. And it would basically put out the order because it would be linked to his credit cards and all that stuff like that. And I'm just like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, no, it's a refrigerator. What's the purpose of a refrigerator? To keep your food, preserve your food while you in warm conditions or whatever. Just to preserve your food from you catching any E. coli or salmonella or anything else that may kill you in the process. That's what it's for. Preserve your food. The freak do I need a TV on there for? That's just waste of money. But you know, to each his own. It's what he wanted is what he wanted. But you can't impress us with that because I'm not impressed by that. Now, the washer and dryer that does that, heat washes and dries at the same time. Not at the same time, washes and dries, and the same thing. That's pretty unique. That's pretty interesting. I found that impressive. Other than that, all the other stuff, I'm like, that much money for a refrigerator? Are you crazy? It's his money at the end of the day. Don't really care, but still, are you crazy? My mother is not the type of person who gets impressed by stuff like that. I mean, she grew up in 1939, so I'm not really impressed by that kind of stuff. She was like, that's a lot of money to spend on a refrigerator. But, if it makes you happy, you know. And then the funny thing about it, that refrigerator had so many problems to it. It kept breaking down. It kept having issues. I mean, like, yeah, great. That's why the new cars, the cars we have today, with all the sensors and stuff all over. Oh my goodness, you could not pay me enough. No, no. I want an old fashioned. That's why I like the '57 Chevys. Those are my favorites of old fashioned cars. I don't want power windows and all that stuff. Your sensor electrical system goes out in your car. You can't roll your windows down. You know that, right? You have to break those things. I like the old-fashioned roll downs. I'm good. All those sensors. I had an ex that had a car that had a sensor system, the sensors in it. Oh, that thing was so buggy. It kept telling us the tires were flat. Kept going over to the gas station to put air in them, and nothing wrong. And this happened multiple times. These sensors kept going off in the car. Wheel alignment, all kinds of stuff. None of them was wrong with the car. Yeah. I was like, yeah. And then you rattle, your nerves all rattle because you think your vehicle's going to break down and all that stuff. And that diagnostic checking is cheap. You got to go in there and take your car back to the dealership because, they want you to take it back to the dealership. And the dealership is expensive. All this dumb nonsense. Oh, yeah, you just have to calibrate and blah, 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 blah. How about this? How about we just rip all that out of there? Because we don't need all that. Back in the day, it should be hard to tell whether your tires are flat. You could feel it. Old schools, if they're driving, they can tell if their tires are low without a sensor system. And, that's what technology does. Technology can be good and bad. Because technology can make you lazy. There used to be a time, there's probably guys up to the day right now, old school mechanics, that can listen to a car and tell what's wrong with it. Ram it up. All right, just a little bit. All right, I know what's wrong with it. Diagnostic testing and all that stuff. But now they do have to learn all that stuff now because the machines have changed. But they have to know all that stuff. Okay, with the machines. Now, give me an old-fashioned '57 Chevy. That's all I need. That's all I need. I don't need anything else but that. That'll do the job. I don't need any of that computer stuff, none of that stuff. Now, like I said, for a person that builds computers, yeah, I'm a tech junkie. I am. But when it comes to certain things, I don't want it in there. I don't. I just don't want it. I don't want it at all, period. I saw a paramedic who had a 1950s, not 1950s, style kind of tattoos on them. They're really interesting. B-2 bomber. The old-fashioned poster girl. It's real classy, very classy. I'm not into tattoos, but very classy. I don't do tattoos. It's not for me. I have people say, I don't have one tattoo. Not one. Not one on my body. It just never interested me. It never did. It never did. It's not for me. Women with tattoos, I don't date women with tattoos. Any of the women I've ever dated, not one tattoo on them. Not one. I don't get into all those tattoos and stuff. You know you're going to get old, right? And your skin and all that's going to sag, and that tattoo, whatever it looked like, it's not going to look the same way. So, I got a lot of friends who have them. And the whole sleeve, the whole arm. Do you have any idea how much? Is that stuff even safe? Put that much stuff into your blood? I got to do some research on that. Before I mention that, I'm going to do some research. I got a bunch of tattoo artist friends. I never really talk to them. But, I don't talk to what they do too much. I'm not really of an interest. But I got some questions now I got to ask them today. Like, can that stuff enter your bloodstream? Usually, people say, well, no, it can't. And then later on to do research and find out it can. Because that does happen. that the likelihood of this happening is like 1,000,000 to 1, and then I find out that the odds are now much greater now. But what does that cause? I'm just curious to know. It used to be a time and point that if you had a tattoo, you considered to be automatically a gang member, right from the door. Even in the 50s, if you had a tattoo, you were shunned upon. People didn't want to do business with you. People didn't want you near their kids. People didn't want, yeah, there was some issues on tattoos. If you had one little tattoo, ain't just a little one, we wouldn't hire you. I'm sorry, we can't hire you. Because they considered you to be a very bad person, which is really messed up. But that's how it was in certain times. If you had a tattoo, you were just considered to be, unless you were military. You served, yeah. Especially if they're Navy. Navy had no tattoos on it. But anyway, but for a woman to have a tattoo? Ooh, no. Now today, good gracious, who isn't tatted up? But you know, to each his own. You know, I just don't like when it's a turn off for me. I don't like tattoos. All right, our nice purple house. No, I got plenty of friends that are tattooed up. I got a buddy of mine actually goes to. He has his whole entire body tatted up. He has an entire, some kind of map or something, some kind of map on him, but it covers his entire body. His head shaved and all that, his back, everything. It's very detailed. It's extremely interesting, but yeah, it's pretty cool. But not for me. So awesome. I was like, man, how much pain does one have to go through? There's a lot of pain. So I guess you suffer for your art, right? There. So now I'm kind of curious now about what he does now to go back and see how far do tattoos have been around for a very long time. What is the history on tattoos? I know anyone who works at a tattoo parlor has to know that one. You have to know the history of your crafts. And the designs, like I said, the artwork is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. The detail is gorgeous. Some people don't know what they're doing, but other people at the end of the day, gee whiz Louise, beautiful. Now, curious, if you can draw on the human skin like that, right? Do you have, I'm pretty sure you probably draw on paper the same way too, and paintings and stuff like that too also. It's still very interesting. I find all that stuff fascinating. Even if it's something that I don't approve of for me, I still find it fascinating. I still find it beautiful. That's why I was checking out his I always check out people's tattoos. Every time somebody, I always look at the tattoo. I always ask them questions about their tattoos. Like, so, beautiful tattoo. What does that represent? And they'll tell me this, that, and the other. You know, it could be someone who passed away in their family or something like that. I always ask questions. Chance to meet a lot of interesting people doing that. You know, that term. I met some very interesting people and their tattoos. And people love talking about their tattoos too. That's the reason why they have them open up, showing. You see what they look like. Oh, that's pretty cool. How much time did that take? Oh, that looked very painful. Like, yeah, you have no idea. And so my friends got this stuff. But no, in my book, in my world, I don't date anymore anyway. It doesn't make a difference anyway. I don't do that anymore. But I don't date women with tattoos. That's my deal breaker right there. Yeah. And I've been blessed that every single woman I've ever dated in my life, none of them had tattoos. I haven't dated Japanese. No tattoos, nothing. First things I ask, do you smoke? That's a deal breaker. Do you drink? Deal breaker. Definitely deal breaker. Go to parties and clubs? Definite deal breaker. Nope, none of that stuff. I'm not one out for it. It's headaches. Those are headaches. Those are headaches. Those are definitely headaches for me. Those are headaches. No, 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 no. Your friends, that could definitely be a deal breaker. If you got friends in the day that are jerks, I don't have time for. I don't. I have a low patient level. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. I don't entertain that kind of stuff at all. Period. When I'm younger, yeah. But as an adult, no, we don't entertain that stuff at all. Period. That gotta go. So no, it ain't gonna work for me. But I've been lucky to have people at the end of the day that were nice people and this, that, and the other. I had great family and friends and stuff like that. You know, that was fantastic. But the other part at the end of the day, the whole drinking and all that stuff, no, we don't do people who drink. I'm sorry. Got friends who drink, it's your thing. I find some drinking fascinating. I like how people talk about how it tastes. It has a fruity taste or a smoky taste to it. I always ask them, like, what's that taste like? It's got a bit of a fruity taste to it, or kind of a smoky taste. So, like, really? Like, yeah. Some people are really good. They can tell whether what barrel was put into. Was put in this barrel, was preserved in this and preserved in that. I'm like, oh, I can tell that from this. Like, yeah. It's interesting. I'll be over there at my friend's house. He got a huge bar over there. But like, how come you can't mix that and that together? What happens if you mix all these together? You can't mix black and whites together? Oh, heck no. What, are you trying to kill somebody? Or like, well, what happens if you do? You don't want to find out. You'll be messed up. What's Patron? Looking at stuff in there. Asking all these questions like, you really don't drink this? No, no, no. I don't drink at all, period. I got drunk one time in my entire life, and that was it. That was enough for me. I never got a hangover. I didn't get the hangover, but it was enough for me. I was done. That was it. Other than that, I don't have a desire for it. Smoking? No, I don't have a desire for that. That just don't. Vaping, all that stuff? No, 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 no. I got lung problems anyway. You don't know that freaking road. All right. Guess I got enough for my flowers. Woo! Get my chimney. I think I'm gonna do my wrap this in some pink, pretty pink colors. I'll do some pretty pink colors. Remember, things gonna go on in the dark. So I mean the night world. So I put it in the night world. Yep. Where the freak is over there? That's over here. So again, the night world. Box system. The reason why we have the 12 by 12, because the wooden panels are all 12 by 12. They go on each side. Here and here goes into a box system. All that's going to be coated in black inside. And you're going to see little villages in the background and all that stuff, little distance of woods and stuff. Add to it. Make it seem like the house is in a pocket of other little houses. So now we got to get ready to get our wood trim and all this. I want to do something crazy with that. I want something that's going to pop real high. So we're going to go with some nice, beautiful yellow. We've got our windows already done, excuse me. So windows are done right there. But we are going to add some more yellow to that. Do we have yellow for our windows? We do have yellow for our windows, don't we? We have yellows for our windows. Wait, if we're doing yellow for our windows, no, the yellow's going to be thrown off. Then I don't want to do the green, because the green to the greenery out there. I'm going to do my chimney in green. That's going to make that thing stand out like crazy. This is our whimsical castle in Lucky Lake. Lucky Lake. And I still got to get a storyline for the person who lives here at the Lucky Lake. Ooh, getting behind behind the door. Oh, almost. Almost got my. Roof, of course, is going to be done in red. Night fishing is forbidden because at nighttime there are mermaids that do pop up in the lake. These are the good mermaids, not the bad ones. They do pop up. Can't fish at night. You would just sit on the pier and watch when they pop up. They tell stories about what goes on in the deep, mysteries of the ocean. The storytellers. People are always interested in what the magical world lays below the ocean. What goes on down there? They also have stories, scary stories about the giant sea monsters that live deep in the ocean, that people on land consider to be a myth, which they're actually real. Even they fear these large monsters. But if you stay far from them, they'll stay far from you. Nice, beautiful color we have there. That yellow and purple is going to come out real nice when those black lights hit. I watch these pictures. There's somebody on YouTube who has this amazing channel. I just subscribed to their channel. They show these beautiful countrysides at nighttime, and they show this beautiful enchanted castle in the background. I do love watching those type of videos. Which It's just interesting. I wasn't a fan of Lord of the Rings. I wasn't. I didn't do anything. I just wasn't a big fan of Lord of the Rings. Like, you didn't like Lord of the Rings? Like, I didn't like Lord of the Rings. But for me, it's not for Lord of the Rings. I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, no, not for me. I walked away from it and watched it since. I haven't watched any of them. Now, for other people, I have a sister who loves it. She die hard. Got the entire collection. She bought all the weapons and everything. You name it, she's got it. She even she's a big fan of Game of Thrones. She owns the throne. She bought that thing. And it's huge, too, on top of that. That thing is huge. She has a room dedicated for this stuff. It's a throne. It literally is a throne. I don't know what she paid for, but I know it has to be a couple $1,000s of what she coughed up for that thing. That thing is huge. Like, how the frick did they get it up here? Yeah, it's huge. She paid for it. Big fan of Game of Thrones. She watched all early episodes. That's a long freaking series. Good gracious. Oh wow, that's crazy. But yeah, she owns the throne. Now she's watching House of Dragons. She's back and forth with that. Between that and work. That's my other sister who speaks fluent Japanese. Around here because you're fighting me a little bit. Stand up for this one. We already have the grass scenery. That all glows in the dark. All that glows. That's already done. It's all glowing in the dark. I'm going to do my chimney first. Paint my chimney on the color I want for that. And I'm going to put my porch in a different color. The banisters, I don't want too much yellow. So porch is definitely going to be a different color. This area you will not see, but why not? So I put a little camera back there, that's the only way you're going to see the area. There's something about the house causes it to glow. It's an enchanted house anyway. And the lake. Oh, I might just put it around and make the lake is the one that's enchanted. Because we have to do the lake in blue. The undercoat of the lake, and then we put the silicone on top of it, and then that makes it glow through. But in that silicone, we have to put a high concentrated UV powder in there to get that reaction, trigger off the way we want to. Now the deck, are we going to paint the deck? No, the deck's going to have highlights of it in yellow. No highlights of it in yellow. Because I don't want the deck to be completely yellow. Got that part over there, which I'm not supposed to paint. And I missed an area right here I must have in purple. And I forgot this area. I gotta get that done. See? Get rid of that rope sometimes. That'll make a difference. It's the glow. Oops. Whoa. 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 Had to fight that drip over there. It was hitting my roof. Yeah, you always pick perfect timing. When I'm writing them little grooves in there, he comes and goes, round, rounds. What's going on with your rounds, sucker? What's going on with your rounds? Your rounds, your rounds. Hmm? What's going on with your little rounds? Your rounds. Tacosaurus. door too, so that when the door's open, like there's light pushing out from the door. That's why we did the door. One of those screen the door in there. When that dries, that's going to dry lighter than the rest of it because it's all in plastic. Nice little look to it. Our yellow windows. And you'll see. I like the fact I'll finally take these ideas in my head of these little enchanted worlds and I can bring them to life. No, I'm going to do my stairs in pink because I want them to match my, what you move them out there, why I'm out here doing this. That's right there. Get you guys over here where you're supposed to be at. I forgot we used a fan brush for this. Fan brush works much better. Alright, we'll come back with this with the fan brush. Alright, let me see. I gotta come back and pick out all my trim. Everything's done right here. Oh, I forgot this whole area down here. I didn't get this. I didn't get you. Great. Trimmed up. So I have to do the trim for the brick. I'll do the trim for the brick now. You dragging on? They're gonna have to order me another one for the PC. PC's gonna, we use quite a bit in this one, so we're gonna have to order me some glow for the PC. So I can have enough for that. Dedicate for that. Show me. She's gonna require more. We missed a whole strip in here. Here. Install that bird. That's better. Through here. I have to get behind that door. I can get it. I can get it from there. Alright, cool. This all coated up here. All the trim, everything's done. So let's go back in with that purple. Okay, cool, we're good. Got the back windows. Back windows are all done. Right, got a door. Alright, cool. Okay. Order on this. turbo in this fan. Looking at my stuff here. Let's see where it is. Wait, no, that should be yellow too. But that's part of that. That should definitely be yellow. The back part should definitely be yellow. How would it be purple? Okay. I didn't think about that one. That kind of makes a lot of sense right there. Get this door. How can we shoot from here? Okay. All right. I'm gonna do my door in red. Definitely do my door in red. Definitely. That'd be really hot to do it on red. Okay. Alright, then we got all our purples in there. Everything's done. Get that one area. That's all done. Area's done. Get that there. More texture. This. I don't have to do base of purple. No, the pack would be purple. The trim would be that. You're way off now. Yeah. You're right, it is purple. It is purple. It will be purple. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm gonna do this a little bit off the camera. I'm trying to get the whole area back here. You can see it over here on this side right there. Let's get that. Go. This little spot over there. That's gonna drive me crazy. Alright, that's fine. Alright, next stage for our cottage. Did we get these here? No, you did not. Exactly right. Did you watch the home golf? I just put your Mr. Bean on. The thing with the fire sticks. Larry, just put your bean on. I don't know what the bean run off that quick. My bad. That's what he's sitting there complaining about. His TV's not on. Here. What the freak that's all about? Let's get it together. I literally just clicked this channel on. He gets upset when his cartoons are not on. He gets bothered by that. He likes to watch his cartoons. One of his favorite cartoons is Mr. Bean. He was watching Peppa Pig for a bit, but now he's not into Peppa Pig anymore. It's Mr. Bean. He likes Mr. Bean. Doesn't want Tom and Jerry, because I tried watching Tom and Jerry, and you don't want to do Tom and Jerry. I think you don't like the time because they're short into the stick sometimes. Can't win all of them, buddy boy. Okay, now, let me see. Maybe just a little more trim here too. We have to figure out porch. I think I'm gonna do the porch in pink, to match this, to match that. And I want the door definitely in red. So let me rinse this out. Cup. And pretty soon, I'm gonna do it fast once we get more boxes in here. I gotta get some color boxes. We're gonna go over and we're gonna take a in here. Just have these here for lunch. I'm going to turn one of these into a mushroom. Really easy to do. Some people will be in here watching my videos like, I don't see that. Yeah, it takes time. You'll see it. Alright, let me see. Now we've got some, this is pink. Use pink for my porch. Stand up for this one. Left-handed. That area. Tapped a little bit at my door. I'm worried about that. Ooh, can I get in there like that? Guess I can. That's to go over the top. These have to be painted anyway. Alright, and we need to get here too also. I can reach. Oh, you're hitting the deck. Some of the deck. I can run it there. Go to the porch. Let's see. Why do you always do that ant every time in the middle doing something insane, Taco? Ain't nothing wrong with you. Stop being a jerk. Nothing wrong with him. Being a jerk. When you get these little areas like this, will you disapprove of it? Do you disapprove of the cottage? It's not to your liking, Mr. Taco. Hmm? You're making your snide remarks. Don't you feel at the end of the day it's not to your liking? tacos. Not to Taco's liking. Woo! Just great that brush coming through. Don't worry about it. We're good. There we go. We got another section. Let's go here. Not worrying about the banisters. The banisters are going to be painted over anyway. So make sure we just get those little areas right there. I'm still not worried about that. Here we go. Go. Area right there. Somebody had a beef with. I think that's kind of cool though. But they had a beef with a neighbor, and the neighbor had OCD, and they deliberately put their doorway and the front door slightly crooked. It's pretty cool though. I like the way it looks. But I know at the end of the day that has got to be triggering the daylights out of them. My whatchamacall, my ex was a little OCD. Yes, interesting. Interesting. Anything slightly off place, you drive them crazy. Now, I have a little bit. If I'm working on something, I'll tear something apart to put it back in. But that's because I want it done right. But yeah, like you're gonna leave it that way? I was like, whatever. I'll get around to it later on. I don't know if I got something to do right now. She's like, no, but you got to do it now. It has to be done now. Why does it be done now? That'll drive me crazy. I'll be staring at that all day long. Like, okay, whatever. Monk was like that. I feel like watching Monk. Monk was like that. The guy was doing some push-ups, and he stopped at 99. And he was like, wait a minute, you're just going to stop at 99? Like, he wouldn't let it go. And the guy was like, okay, fine. He did the other one. He said, okay, you happy? He's like, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's crazy. So basically, it affects you if you do it, and it affects you if other people do it. I mean, it's interesting. It's crazy, but it's interesting. You know what I mean? I have a little bit of it when it comes to like when I'm building, but then again, like I said, that's a part of me that wants to make sure it's done right because it will drive me nuts. If I look at that, it will drive me freaking nuts. If it's slightly off a little bit, I'll be like, oh crap, I take the whole thing apart, put it all back together again because I know it's coming. I know I won't be happy with it. I know I got to take it apart. I don't have a choice. There's no option around it. So I know I have a bit of it in me. I'll be up all night long dismantling something, putting it back together again because I can't accept it. Or if there's a screw missing, there's another thing that triggers me. We have to have all screws in there. I know later on it's going to come back to plague me somewhere somehow, and it's going to cost me money or whatever. Just get it done right the first time. You have to worry about it. There we go. So we got that finished. To match our staircase over here. Let that dry up. You're like, you did it in pink? I love pink. Pink's actually a color I really love. I love pink. Men can wear pink too. And people get offended like, men can't wear pink. Yes, men can wear pink. Men can wear pink. See, that's that whole mentality of being trapped inside the box. It's pretty cramped when you're inside the box, isn't it? No wiggle room in there whatsoever. You're controlled by your own thoughts, which is kind of messed up because your thoughts are supposed to make you free. All right, where are we going next with this? I definitely want to do the trim out in blue to match our enchanted lake. So we'll do a nice little trim out. We don't need to do. Actually, I want to paint these in blue. Let's just blue. Should I do them in purple? Because the house is purple. I definitely want to do the chimney in blue. Wouldn't that be too much purple? Yeah, we gotta do them in purple because it has to match. So we'll do the chimney in blue. Oops, you're in the wrong direction, aren't you? That's why we did the chimney in that nice white. The blue would reflect much better. Don't worry about the brick. Brick's gotta be painted. Roof's gotta be painted all in red. So that's what I'm going to. Yep, the flowers are bigger than the house because, again, like I said, this is all enchanted. So we want the flowers to be bigger than the house. And the guy in the house isn't exactly full size either. He's not a big person, as you can see by the door. It's a tiny guy. I think the next one, that one I'm going to do too, but I think if I do it like a nice little village side, oh man, I wish I had more room. If I had more room, I want to put a cave in there. I put a cave with a little mining cart. We'll have to build that prop separately. I want to build a mining cart, a little light pushing off in the background, way in the back, like they're working back there with some lanterns going all the way down through. That would be hot. That would be beautiful. I got to build me some props on that one. So we may make a mining. We can make a mining one all mining, just basically all mining with the carts and everything. And we can make gold. We can make piles and piles and piles of gold. What's wrong, naysayer? Making you feel? Bringing you to life on your imagination? I told you my world's different from yours. My world's 10 times different from yours. I see things differently. I don't see things like everybody. All artists trigger off that way. And even people with a crazy imagination trigger off that way. We see this stuff. I can engineer gaming technology over one game. I have one game that triggered off an entire industry of a screen because I wanted it to look different on my behalf. It was pretty much, most of the time, it's designed for me because it's something that I want. But anyway, yeah. My mind's a little different. Somebody once put in that I was delusional. Yeah, so I'd be delusional if I said that I had a screen that generates outside in daytime hours. I back up everything that I do. If I said at the end of the day that those cardboard PCs that I was building at the end of the day, the big boxy PCs, that I can build things, little tiny, little model projects at the end of the day, I back up everything I do. I can build it from scratch, from piece by piece. I don't have to have boxes to build a structure. I can build it piece by piece, which you watch me do here. I back up everything I do. If the Lord gives me that ability, I got that ability. If I don't, then I don't. I do like how that stucco came out nicely, gave it a really nice look to it. Next time I'm going to use that stucco texture down here because when I'm looking at these medieval houses and how they were made, they would have had that white stucco texture. Use a lot of lime too. Some lime as in the stone. And I use animal dung, horse dung, and stuff like that because it actually worked as a great way of fusing the straw and mud to make their houses. And these guys want to sit here and giggle and snicker over waste in a bucket. Apparently you've never been camping before, I can tell that. So people who snicker about going to the bathroom in a bucket, you've never been camping before. Apparently you haven't. So if you do know what camping units look like, it's a bucket. It's a 5-gallon bucket container. It has a lid that fits on the top of it, and you got this powder that you put inside of it. As a matter of fact, even to a concert, they have it in there. Sometimes the toilets don't flush correctly. They have it in there. But it's a powder that you put in there. And what the powder does is, the powder diffuses all the smell, it dries up all the urine, and it makes into a huge jello cake. That's what it does. And you use those, I've used them, when I'm going camping and hunting, where we don't have bear foods out in the middle of the woods. I can see that people who made that comment in the day, you must do glamping. Nothing wrong against glamping, but it's not the type of camping that I do at the end of the day. These guys would be doing glamping. Because you guys would cry if you were out there and you didn't have a bear from out there. And if you didn't even have the bucket, then guess what? You found your little piece of the earth, you better know what poison ivy looks like. If you don't, that's going to be one uncomfortable day. And you go out there and you wipe your butt with a leaf. That's what you'll do. And you know what all that does? It breaks down into the earth. That's what it does. Just like all the animals, every single day, that crap all over the planet, and all the fish that poop in the water that you drink that's been clean. You see anything wrong with the planet? No, all that's fertilizer. All that is fertilizer. So if you know anything about basically survival, which again, I can't explain this enough, that you should know this stuff from the door, and some of you don't have survival skills, you're in a lot of trouble if things go south. Even worse south, if they go south. You have no survival skills whatsoever. And these guys in the I can tell have no survival skills whatsoever. If you're going to make that comment, anybody else would say, oh yeah, bucket, I've done that before at the end of the day. You go camping, you don't got bear fronts out there. All campsites don't have bear fronts. And if you're out there in the middle of nowhere, which you might like to be at the end of the day, there are no bear fronts out there. It's you and nature. That's all that's out there. That's it. You and nature. There's no bear from out there, no plumbing, none of that stuff. You guys wouldn't survive out there. I stick you out there on about 100 acres of land. You get lost on it. It'd be too much. You'll get lost. I'll stick you on there about even an acre. They get lost on an acre. I can see them getting lost on an acre. I say half an acre. Hopefully they'll get lost on that. Half an acre with nothing out there. Give you a buck knife, a piece of tarp, and some zip ties. You figure it out. You have to figure out what to drink, or figure out what to eat, all that, or you just starve to death, and that's what will happen to you. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's all you need. And a flintstone. That's all you need. That's it to start a fire. Some people don't even use that. I got a brother of mine who's in the military. He don't even use that. But anyway, that's it. That's all you need. You don't need any water out there. You'll find water. You'll find ways. You'll find water. You'll find food. If you can't find food, then you'll eat what's in the earth, and worms and whatever, bugs, whatever. You'll eat all that. You will. You'll figure it out. So if all this wasn't here, if none of this society, none of this was here, it was just all flat land, excuse me, how are you surviving this? There you go. So if you don't know at the end of the day, I can tell you never been camping, because anybody's been camping, or even know they had crap in the woods. You have no choice, where are you going to go? So if they have crap in the woods, that means at the end of the day, then guess what? The whole bucket theory, and a lot of people live off grid, they either have compost toilets or they just have a bucket unit. And the compost toilet, same thing. Compost toilet, you poop in the unit in the toilet. It basically has a system that basically mixes that with compost and basically with whatever you're going to have in there. Some people have sawdust, whatever they have in there, and it mixes that together, and you put that little solution in there, and that's it. It turns into a big brick, cake brick. And they take those cake bricks and they use them for fertilizer. And I wouldn't use for fertilizer for food, but I use for fertilizer for growing plants and stuff like that. That's what they do with it. I did a little research out in the backyard. I took seeds and I used Taco's litter versus the fertilizer. His litter was better than the fertilizer. The grass grew so much faster with that, with his kitty litter. So again, nothing about survival whatsoever. And civilians, if I were to stick you in a garage with no way, no heat, no electricity, and no plumbing, and you had to be there for 1 year, can you survive that? And temperatures that can drop below minus 11, because we had temperatures drop to minus 11, or heat waves, can you do that? I did it for 1 year. I learned how to insulate a building, so basically that it was so cold in there that at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, where the heat would hit the building the highest, that a simple fan just like that, I'd had to have a blanket because I'd be cold. I had to turn the blanket off because the insulation was done so well in that place. You see me like it was all silver done and everything. Yeah, I did that whole entire thing. I did the cement caulking for the outside, all that. That building was sealed. It was sealed so well that when licensed inspection did their inspection on the building, I got an A for it. Of course, couldn't tell me, but I got an A for it. I found I got an A for inspection for the system that I did in there. Yeah, and also too use a mixture of lemon juice and vinegar to wipe out every single cricket in the backyard. That's why you can hear crickets anymore. A natural solution without using chemicals that would harm the earth. So you don't know anything. That's what I said at the end of the day. Too busy being ignorant, you don't know anything. So if I stuck you in there, you gentlemen there for 1 year, can you survive it? You can't. You'd be in there crying and whining in the place. You don't know how to do insulation, none of that stuff whatsoever. You don't know anything about hydroelectric energy. You don't know anything about water filtration systems. You don't know nothing about that. Solar energy, nothing. I could build a solar energy unit by using car batteries. Because I didn't want to get hooked to the luxury of having these eco-flip systems. I started researching and studying how to do it the old-fashioned way, with the converters, the transformers, and basically using car batteries. Because I wanted to know old school, just in case if new school ain't around anymore, and I got to convert to old school by pulling batteries out. See? There you go. And that's why I got a friend of mine right now. She's a fantastic gardener. She grows her own tomatoes, her fruits, her vegetables, all that stuff. I got her teaching me. Because I'm growing my own food. I'm growing my own vegetables and stuff. Now, since my father taught us how to hunt, scan and cook, they should know that. On their end, the other ones should know it. Chances are they probably don't. Most likely not a fish. If the grid collapses, I'm going to tell you something. Williams is screwed. Williams has no type of survival skills. You're not even built. Matter of fact, the worst part about it is you're not built for it. You don't exercise, you don't work out, you don't do any of that stuff. Majority of, even if you have those type of skills, say you're like maybe roughly about, I say maybe 375 pounds. Those skills won't mean jack to you at the end of the day. You're still going to have to be able to be mobile. So you're not going to have that. You don't have that capability. That's one of the things that bothered me the most, that when I was suffering from the disease and I couldn't breathe too well, man, all survival skills in the world wouldn't help me out if I can't breathe and I can't get from A to B and I can't carry things and move things and build things. That is going to be an issue. Y'all have no hand-to-hand combat skills. Y'all have nothing. Nothing at all, period. That's what at the end of the day, take up some form of hand-to-hand combat skills. Something. You never know when you're going to be in a situation where you're going to need this. People want to come around carrying weapons all the time. At the end of the day, let me tell you something. When you get into the lockup system, there is no guns in there. It's all hand-to-hand in there. Women, the mace and all, that's going to help you to a certain degree. And some people are not even affected by mace. You have to learn some type of hand-to-hand combat. You have to. The self-defense class is basically, I guess, in a way, teaches you to harm the person to a certain degree. But yeah, you got to take somebody down. You have to learn that. You have to break something on them. When you break something on someone's body, I guarantee you, they're not even thinking about you anymore. They're thinking about that dislocated limb. That's all they're thinking about. They're not even thinking about you anymore. Learn some kind of hand-to-hand skill. Ooh, nice blue chimney. I'm going to do my stones the same color too. Because I like my blue chimney. Over there looking blue. Do, 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 do. Learn it. You should know how to fish. You should know how to hunt. You should do all that stuff. And if you're not a person that's into hunting at the end of the day, you should definitely know how to fish. definitely know how to fish. That's free food. That's free food. You know that fishing is free food. Those families you see on YouTube that live off the grid, they grow their own food, and they hunt, they fish, all that stuff, and they be on camera talking about, hey, you don't never know when the government's going to do this, and da 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 da, and they be telling you from the door. There you go. My father was like that. My father was always like that. He never really did supermarkets. He never did all that stuff. He hunted, fish, all that stuff. Because he said, you never know. You never know when. You never know when. You never know when. He was not a person who trusts politicians. He didn't. He was a serviceman. Of course he didn't trust. Majority of my other family members who are in service don't basically live on the grid. They're off the grid. Can't get comfortable with society. We learned nothing in COVID. So I told you, I don't trust politicians. I don't. I don't trust the Republicans. I do not trust those jokers for nothing. At all, period. And I don't trust the Democrats either. But I'd rather trust the Democrats than trust the Republicans at the end of the day. Are any of them good? No. 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 All of them have a hidden agenda. All of them. The only thing that I could say, and don't take it the wrong way, because we have people who do take things the wrong way, because y'all that's what y'all do. The only thing good about this situation, now you can see the danger you can see it up close in your face. Because if you look at a lot of these presidents we had before these people at the end of the day, they did stuff, but it was hard to find out. They had to be caught. That's the only way you're going to find out. But now today, they do it right in your face. So just seeing this right in your face, this now gives you the ability to see exactly why it is what it is. Back in the 50s, they didn't have all this technology. They believed whatever came on that newscaster, whatever he said at the end of the day, that's what they believed in. They didn't have the technology we have today to go online and figure this out. We are only reporters at the end of the day. But back in the 50s, if they said this is what it was. And a lot of them were lied to. Newscasters lied to a lot of people back then. But, like I said, where are you going to fact check from? You can't. They believe whatever came on the news. So now today we have all this technology now, but now this one's open with it. He's bold and open with it. And being bold and open with it, now you see exactly how corrupt life really is. How corrupt it all is in the day. So come November 4th, you got that option to change that nonsense. You can't be complaining if you don't want to change it. I think some of them really don't care at the end of the day. They think he's going to get a third term. You have lost your marbles at the end of the day. That's not happening. I don't even know why news people even talk about it, because that's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. That does happen, and he gets a third term, and they break the rules of history, I'm out. I'm leaving. I ain't never come back to the U.S. ever again. I would never salute a flag a day in my life. And after my military family agrees with me 100%, they will never, ever come back to this country ever again. Because what's the point? The whole country is founded on the Constitution. If we don't have the Constitution, then what is this place at the end of the day? It's not America. I know that. I know our founding fathers basically died for that piece of paper. But never made it for the intention to be used that way. So we're just going to ignore that at the end of the day, and we're going to go our own route. Then guess what? Bye-bye. I'm never coming back. got our brick laid in there real nicely. I'm gonna trim out my let's see. I'm gonna trim out my deck. But did in blue. No, it'll cascade nice in blue. Do a light brush for this. We're doing dry brush for the deck. So we're just doing an underline. Woo! I forgot you were even there. But anyway, that's what it is. But you know, I'm getting older, so I'm glad that sooner or later I won't be here anymore. I can go home and see Jesus. My mom always said that all the time. She said, I can't wait to go home and see Jesus. I'm so tired of this world. I can't wait to go see Jesus. I'm tired of all the crazy and corruption. I can't wait home to go to see Jesus. And I understand what she means by 100% by that. Because, you know, at one point, you know, I was still trapped in this world somewhat. Then I started realizing it more and more that she passed that. Man, yeah, I just want to go home. I'm tired. I can't wait till Jesus comes back. Or basically, I can just go home. I'm tired of this world. I'm curious how the world's going to react when Jesus comes back. Like how's the world going to react when Jesus comes back? You can't use any military because it's God at the end of the day, so that's not going to work. None of that's going to work. Period. Feels like when Jesus comes back, they're going to try to. What are you going to do? It's God. It's the Creator of all things. How? Well, Jesus is God, and it's Jesus. But Jesus comes back again. That's impossible. That is impossible. You don't have anything on this planet. Heck, even your existence is because of him. So no. Jesus is God in a man form. An amazing power. He could have used it at that time when he was going through that with the cross, but he didn't. All the people treated him wrong. He could have done that, but he didn't. He treated them because he was trying to save them. Trying to save you. Sorry, y'all can't even see that. I'm sitting there trimming it out. Like I said, this is going to be done in a night setting, so everything inside here is going to be dark. So, the only way it's going, if it glows, it shows. If it doesn't, you ain't seen it. So everything has to be trimmed out and glow. If not, you won't see it. here. Gotta be here to help people get saved. Yep. Got work to do. That guy sits out there every day and with those God love you signs. And he does that every day. Every single day. Rain, snow, sleet. He's out there. He sweeps up and cleans up around the area so it looks nice and all he does. See him out there every day. Devoted to God. Oh, we splattered our whatchamacallit a little bit there. We splattered. We're good. We're good. We're good. Might just keep that there. I kind of like that little splatter on there. I think I'm gonna keep that there. I like that. I might do the whatchamacallit. It's the same way. I'm gonna put a little blue in there. Definitely like that. Let's see. That's gonna be a mistake. Turned out to be fantastic. It worked out. Definitely gonna be using that. I'm gonna put some blue in there. I wasn't did a banister to match the whatchamacallit, but I'm gonna do it to match the pier because it'll give us something different. Definitely like how that worked out right there. Little spot in there like that. go. Okay, dokie. Let's see what we gotta do next. We need the fan for this one. Where's the fan? There we go. Now it says me, Taco. Taco. Oh, someone at the door. Ugh. This is what I like this kind of stuff. Oh, science. Oh, interesting. Very cool. Bum, 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 bum. All right, get back to work here. Finished our, what you call them here. We're done with this. Now we got all this is completed. Well, so much. We still got to put a whole silicone coating on here to make it look like it's like like it's actually a little lake. We still have to do the flowers. I think I finished everything on here. Oh no, we didn't. We still got the roof to do. So let's put this over here, and let's get this over here so we can get our roof to glow. Because that's the next stage. There for our brushes, we're using red. Red. It's not red, but it works because we need the glow. Because again, this area is going to be in complete darkness, so we have to have anything. If it doesn't show, if it's not covered in glow, it's just not going to show. That's pretty much what that's going to come down to. All right, let me make sure we clean this really good. For this one we use for black. Do I have one later on here we didn't use? I guess we can use this one. Hopefully, we don't get any traces of black on there, any cross contamination on there. Clean it down really good. Where is my form? Just to fill out today and send this in. Let's see. No, I'll just go ahead and fill it there. Fill out the form there. Send it in. All right, let me see. The roof in red. Is this red? Oh, it is red. It's neon red. This over here. Our house came in all kinds of interesting colors. I don't like all these bristles right here. This is what's freaking me out because this could very well detach, hit my roof, cause problems. Let me see what we got going up here. Ah, he sensed that before I did. I'm gonna knock on the door. Here we go. We gotta get something else. I gotta get this small one because I disapprove of your choice. Because I just got my red, caught my whatchamacallit over here. My shingle right and cut my roof there, so we have to come in and redo that right there a little bit. But I should have started off with this one right here. This would have been a much better one to do. There we go. Get my shingles done. This is going to look nice when we hit this with the black light. I'm going to go back over that trim with the little yellow again. Apparently people are upset over my houses. Wow. Well, here's the thing. Got to deal with God on that one. You're already in the book. What I mean in the book, I told you that people that we have problems with, you're in that Bible right now. And when we put things in that Bible, when we pray and put things in God's hands, God takes care of it. That's how it's done. You better pray that you get it taken care of before you pass off this earth. I told you not promised to be here. You can shorten your lifespan on this planet by doing things that are not attacking and prosecuting God's people. You're shortening your lifespan on that. You know that, right? And if you have not got your act together and you're too busy out there doing the things of the devil and your time is called, you know where you're going. It's sad. It really is. It's not, I know your intentions is to try to make me angry. That's your intention. But it's sad. My intentions at the end of the day, I feel sorry for you. Because you're going to end up burning in that lake of fire forever. And you are too naive and cannot see the destruction you are laying before yourself. You don't see it? The devil got you that blinded. You don't know when you're going to be called back. You don't know how much time you have here. And you're spending your time on this earth doing the devil's work. So, you have to remember, and this is how we see it on our end, and this is what makes it so sad for you. Sooner or later, you're going to go home. Well, not to that place, but sooner or later, you're going to be called back. And if you haven't got it together, then you know where you're going. That's stuff like that doesn't bother me at all whatsoever. It's sad because I know where you're going. That's what makes it sad. Because I know one thing, and you know too. You won't be here on this earth forever. Sooner or later, you're going to pass on this earth. If you have not got together, then you're going to that place. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. And you've already entertained something, the demon, who's going to get you off here even faster. His will, he's going to definitely get you off here even faster. So you've already started playing that game with him already. And he's already started planning and plotting how to get rid of you. So for us, on the other hand, when you do stuff toward a Christian like that, again, it doesn't do anything against us. It doesn't hurt us in any way. We're protected. But you, on the other hand, you're in danger. You don't know when your time is coming, when you have to leave this earth, and you're being hunted by a demon who you've already entertained, who now knows that you're interested, because that's what you do. You put out Satan's calling card. He knows you're interested. If he can get you to do something, get you to commit a crime, anything, he can get you to do something, you've already answered the call of Satan. And now he's going to figure out a way how to collect on that call. And he's going to, at any means necessary. Any means necessary. Which means if he has to go through you, and I hate to say this, and it's true, or one of your family members. He doesn't have a whole thing about honesty and basically about, no, he don't care. Whatever he can get his hands on, he don't care. So when you invite something like that in, you invite something like that into your family. Which means he has eyes on them too. Which he's always had eyes on. But you gave him an invite in. You put yourself at danger, and you put everyone around you at danger. That's why when Christians see somebody out there carrying on and acting up and they're of the devil, we stay far away from you because we know what's around you. He's not going to sit there and go, oh no, that invitation was just from you. No, he's going to walk in the house and go, I'm taking all of them. Any means necessary. So you've already started it already. Y'all worrying about this world. It's not this world you need to be worried about. You won't be on this world. That's what you have to understand. You're worried about a world at the end of the day that you won't be on. You don't stay here forever. You gotta leave sooner or later. You can't be here. Sooner or later you're gonna die. Most people kick it when they're 50. Some are 60. Very few people make it to 70 and 80. Very few people make it to 70 and 80. $76, $78, roughly. Yeah, if you make it to 80, you're doing pretty good. But you're not going to be here much longer. My mother passed at 89 years old. But for a man, the timeline is mostly 70. In that range. But some people go at 50. Some people go in their 40s. That's what I said when people sit there and they put that whole timeline on things and say, well, man passed around that time. And now it depends on whatever time God decides to call you back. That's when you're leaving. It could be 18, it could be 19, it could be 20, it could be 14, it could be 15. It doesn't make a difference. When his time is it's going to be his time to call you back. That's it. People say, well, eat right and live longer. Yeah, that is true. But you won't be here long. Because again, whatever time it comes, when your time comes up, you're leaving. Whether you like it or not, you are getting off this earth. And the sad thing about it is, people have spent their time on this earth entertaining this earth. You have nothing that you're not prepared. You just spent money for insurance for a world that dies. And your insurance should have been for heaven. So when you naysayers do stuff to me at the end of the day, I don't get angry. You think I'm getting angry. That's what the devil tells you. The devil says, "He'll get upset and angry." No, I feel sorry for you because you're going to hell. That's where you're going. You're going to a place of unimaginable pain that you can't even think of. There's no amount of pain on this earth that will match what hell has for you. And then the other thing is that you don't know when. You don't know how much time you have here. A lot of people die in their sleep. I have met people. I shook someone's hand and the next day they died. Time is short. And this is how you spend your time on this planet? Literally just shook his hand. He died in his sleep. We never know when our time comes when we're called back. We never know when the Lord is going to bring us back. And they said there are some that will run to Jesus and they'll go, "Lord, Lord, Lord," and he'll say, "I don't know you." And the sad thing about it is, the devil has these people fooled in believing that all what I say is fake. Sad part about it is, you're going to find out the hard way about it all. So you're not bringing any anger toward me when you do that kind of stuff. You bring sadness. And the sadness is for you, because I know where you're going. When I look at these stars that passed off this earth, sometimes I look at old TV shows and stuff and figure where these people are at today. And I see they died already. They've left this earth already. All their possessions, money, fame, they're gone. And I pray that hopefully they were saved. Because if you're not saved, you go to a place called purgatory. And it speaks of it in the Bible. It talks about the rich man, poor man. The rich man went to purgatory. It's not even hell. It's a waiting place for hell. And it has to be absolutely horrifying, because what I read in that scripture about how he just wanted, imagine being in so much torment, so much pain, that you would get comfort in a drop of cold water on your tongue. Not swallow, not drink, a drop of cold water on your tongue would bring you so much pleasure from the torment you're in. And that's what he asked. And the angel said no. He said no, because you had your time. You had your time when you was on the earth. You could have made this guy's life so much better, but you chose not to. And now he's in paradise and you sit in hell. Purgatory. And even when he asked him, "Can you warn my brothers? Can you tell them? Because I don't want them to come to this horrible place. Because he's there forever." And he says, "I can't tell them. They have to find out. They have to, in a way, they have to follow the same path he follows. In other words, they have the decision to do right or wrong. No one gets any extra perks. Nobody. Everybody's treated all the same. So it saddens me that when I come on here, I talk like this because I don't want people to end up in that awful place. I have no rejoice of knowing that you will be suffering in this place for eternity. It's sad that you'll be there if you don't get your life together. You're not hurting me in any way whatsoever. You're entertaining Satan. That's all you're doing. And since you've already opened up that doorway for that demon to make his way to your home, to be around your family, your pets, and your friends. For some people sit there and say, "But that's not true." It is true. Because, say, your friend's a devil worshiper, right? And you know demons are always going to be around him because he's a devil worshiper. He serves the devil, right? would you allow this person, knowing that he allows demons and he serves demons, would you allow him around your kids, your family members? No, you wouldn't, right? You don't even want to be near him at all, period. Why would you cut him off? Or you cut him off because he serves these demons, and you don't want these demons around your family members and friends. Because they will. They won't be just to him. They'll be with anyone they can get a host on. That's it. So you want to protect your family, but keeping them away from this person. But yet you do evil things and you invite things into your home by doing these acts that the devil tells you to do. So again, you harm yourself at the end of the day. I like the color of this roof. This came out real nice. I like this. This came out really, really nice. Now, the devil will tell you at the end of the day, laugh about it, pay it no mind. Of course he's going to tell you that. Don't listen to what he's saying. He's just talking just for the sake of talking. He's going to tell you that right now. I bet you he's saying it to you right now. Right now he's speaking to you and telling these naysayers at the end of the day, don't even listen to him, man. He just keep on going, keep on going. Yeah, keep on going. When that time comes, God forbid, and you're on your last in that hospital, in the hospital, there are demons and angels. They're collecting. Angels are collecting what belongs to them. Demons are collecting what belongs to them. They're in there walking around the hospital. They'll walk from room to room till they find theirs, what belongs to them. I see it this way in my head. I see these demons walking around, and I see them seeing the rooms, all rooms that have glowing, glorious light. It's a room that an angel sits in, waiting to take that person home. And the rooms that are in complete darkness are ones that are not saved. And those are where the demons go. They're coming to collect what belongs to them. I am so glad that the Lord gave me the opportunity to get it cleaned up, get my life together, and to get it cleaned up before I ended up in that situation. It scares me to think that if the Lord decided to call me back when I was out there doing all that stuff, can you imagine how horrible that would have been? I was in the neighborhood. I had plenty of opportunities. I could have been easily killed. Lord, thank you so much for not allowing it to be so. My mom got her blessing. She wanted me to be saved and find the Lord, and she got it. This is going to come out looking real nice. We got that trim. All this came out until the back. Come back on that little yellow bit to trim it up a little bit. This came out. I like this color. This is a nice color. This is going to go really, really nice to the roof. I do like that indeed. It's like when they were down there celebrating or watching Jesus hang on the cross. He said, "Give them, Father, for they know not what they do." They don't know the destruction that's what's watching them. It's looking to destroy them every single day. The devil, the adversary. basically moves back and forth to see who he can devour. Gentlemen, I've warned you on so many levels and you don't listen. You are destined for a very bad place. And you've already entertained something you should have never entertained to begin with. And the fact that you've invested this much time in again, nothing's happening to me. As you can see, you've wasted your time on nonsense and foolishness. What have you ever accomplished? The devil said it was going to happen to me. Nothing, right? Is my business being destroyed? No. Am I homeless and out in the street? No. Am I broke or poor? No. I'm good. 100%. You have accomplished nothing. And yet, what's going to happen to you in the courtrooms is not the biggest problem. Your very soul right now, you're at risk. And at the ages that you are right now, you have taken very high risk at the end of the day. Some of you are not in the best of shape. Let me get my door red. Oh, the door's supposed to be in red. Heard? Forgot about that. The door is supposed to be in red. Alright, let me get my trim up in here. Yeah. So, you're not hurting me. I feel sorry for you. I do. Sorry for you that you allow that demon to have that much control. Hope you find God. That you have found the demon. That's one thing. You have found that. Oh, man. This is going to come out looking great. Maybe we won't see that, but still, why not? I was trying to get the houses not mixed up with Viking era. Vikings have a different way of building their homes, but they do want to build one though. It's got to be interesting to be born with Viking and heritage. You know, people that have Viking and heritage. That's freaking cool. So I am Viking. That's awesome. Definitely awesome. Some Viking homes. Oh, and some Viking ships, definitely. Every time I look this up, to do this stuff, I have to look up the history on it. Because I like to study the history of it. So, study the history of Vikings. Where is the purple? Meow. It's definitely the word for it. Meow. Cartoons on? Okay, they're on. They're cool. Meows. Meows. See? With the meows. You disapprove? You disapprove of my work? With the meows? With the meows? You disapprove? With the meows? Disapproves with the meows. No. See? Nope. With the meows. With the meows. That goes with the meows, you understand? He disapproves with the meows. Or maybe he likes it. He may say, hey, I love it. I love it with the meows. With the meows. You love it with the meows. With the meows. He loves it with the meows. Trace in here, so trace causes things to stand up a little bit. You have to have the color blends in. Can't just have a solid blue. It won't look right. So when that black light hits it, you have to see a mixture of colors blending together. That's what makes it look so magical. You're going to be using a dry brush. refresh routine for that. Oh, this is gonna look magical. Magical. Oh. This does the highlights. Not painting the entire chimney, just doing highlights. That's it. Highlights cause it to spark. It's funny because now I'm putting this thing in, I didn't realize this actually matched. You know how amazing God is? I had no idea that this and this was going to match. I was just painting it as I go along. I just thought that'd be a cool color for it, and it ends up matching that, which is crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. God, it works everything out. That's how amazing God is. Yep. At the end of the day, Satan's got no victory. Not at all. Nothing. No victory for Satan. All victory goes to God. Look how we got the stones looking in there. Stones, whoops, stones got a nice little multi-blend of color in there. Put a little highlight purple in there. Look how the stones come out looking. It's gonna give a nice little glimmer. That's like when you play video games and you get that little glimmer in the corner. You're like, what the heck is that? And you walk over and you're like, oh shoot, there's diamonds in this game. It's an interesting currency. Interesting currency in the game. Yep. So that's what we're doing right now. We're adding in some of this beautiful highlight purple in here to get this to push a little higher out. Work on them highlights. This is where we get to have the fun, people. This is where the fun comes in. Those highlights, those beautiful highlights. Don't seem like much, but it's a lot. Trust me, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. Got a nice little purple in there. A nice little purple blend in there. That was gorgeous. I like that. Let's get a little bit here and here and there. There we go. I like it. Let's see. Did I just nail that? I just did. Well, we got that. I gotta come over and yell anyway. That has to be done. I can't do that. There we go. Got back where it was. Now, I saw something here I needed to fix. That heck got hit with a little red on it. Oh, right there, my windowsill right there. Got hit with some red in there. You gotta come in here and fix that. I'm mindful of the fix in there. Don't make it different, but keep that windowsill. Does that blue go? No, the moon blue doesn't go. That's regular paint. Yeah, we got to make that glow. So, I'm going to do that with some blue. I forgot about that. That does not glow. Storytown Half Moon. It's a glow. There we go. better. And we'll read that on this too. And my yellow a little bit farther over. Let me just right here. One with, there we go. There we go. Gotta be perfect. Well, not perfect. This is a crooked cottage. Crooked cottage is just made to be crooked. That's what it is. If you did some research and you went online, you would check out and say, wow, there's a lot of these things on there. There's a lot of them. And now ours has popped up on there. Yep, because we got a crooked cottage too. But we're going to do more than that. We got the crooked castle, crooked clock tower. We're going to do a whole bunch of these things, man. And I got a buddy of mine coming in. He's buying a castle from me. He wants a castle. He's into that whole Dungeons and Dragons and things. He's getting a castle made. What's a castle? So you do castles? I'm definitely doing a castle. As a matter of fact, castle's on the list here. Let me know. I'll buy it from you. And now he's going to do this one to glow in the dark. He's like, oh, I got some cool ideas already for his castle. How we're going to make everything look like flying arrows in the air, catapult with fire on it. Oh, we got some crazy ideas for it. Some crazy ideas. And I'm doing one for myself. But I definitely got to have one for myself. Even the dragon, the flame that comes out of the dragon's mouth, it is going to look insane. Yes, we even have some of the trees on fire. Battle with the dragon. So we're going to do something pretty cool with that. So I gave him an idea. I drew a kind of an idea of what we're doing. He's like, oh, shoot. When you get this, let me know. He's going to put it up on his mantelpiece. We're going to even get plaques designed for them. Scroll plaques for them. So I'm going to hook them up with one of them. Sorry, our cottage. I can even hear the music playing in the background. Yeah, medieval music. I can hear it in the background playing on our cottage. Now we got to work on our whole. This dry. I'm so happy about this. This is my whole. I get to design these little happy worlds for myself. That's what I love about it. Because I can go and always stare at our happy world. At the end of the day, and it goes right there. It came out looking nice. So now. Get to work on some plants because our plants got to go. These are already done. These are from the last piece. These right here are not done yet. These are pretty easy. We're doing fans. We're doing this. Well, fans. Oh. You need a fan brush for this. Pretty much. One detail brush we have right there, but we need a fan brush. Where's the fan brush at? Here we go. The fan brush. And paint flowers. Really? I just had the fan brush. Where'd it go that quick? Alright, is that you? That's the way. Okay, cool. Someone's asking me when we're going to go back into doing screens. Actually, soon, but right now, I had to change gears for a little bit. I told you it was driving me nuts. So I can't do screens every day. I go crazy. So I got to change it to something else. So we started working on these things. This also does involve a screen, but still we got to build this little wall first before we can actually use the screen. But I got to change gears sometimes and work on the PC a little bit, work on this, those stuff. I still got to, the one we have on the floor, which I got to corrode that one and turn that into a rusted apocalypse system. But not only that, I have to build a bomb. I'm building a retro looking bomb from Fallout out of cardboard. That's gonna be freaking cool. Should be easy to do. That's easy to do. You know. And then with our job and being to make things look corroded, oh, it's gonna look sick. Um, but did it have a digital timer? I gotta go now. I gotta go back and look at all this stuff. Like, when did digital come out for analog? So we have to make this thing look. What would look better if it was analog? An analog clock on it. The wires come out of it. I'm gonna build one, but I don't want a replica. I want something with my own little kick to it. That's what I want. All right, so you can see we have our nice pathway done. Nice pink. In between that, all glows. All this glows already. The flowers, some of these glow and some of these don't. So these don't glow right now. These right here don't glow. And we use a fan brush for this. Fan brush. And we're going to do, let me see, with these right here, I definitely want to do some yellow in here. Definitely want to do some yellow. Take the fan brush. Get a little bit on our fan. Get a little closer, relax and try. And we're just basically just brushing the tips of these. That's all you're doing. Because just a little bit of this causes this up to pop. That thing's going to pop over there. Now, we haven't, that house, the reason why we're not done with it yet, because there's lights we have to install inside that house. So the floor is over there, which I should have painted the floor, but I'll get to the floor later. What do you want? You just don't want to come over to you. And one of these I have to build an ogre. And show how ogre, well, it's a whole different story on how to make blocks of chunks of cement cascading through the air. It's gonna be pretty cool. This is why we use the fan brush. Are you a fan of the fan brush? I'm a fan of the fan brush. This fan brush allows you to be able to hit all those different areas because you don't want to actually paint it. You want to basically just gently run your fan brush over top of it. Everything else will do the job. Everything else will do the job. And we just blend it nicely, just like that over there. Let's do it with a fan brush. All right, and nice beautiful flowers over here. Make sure we haven't had our roof over there. I want that. Everyone's working on that roof. And like I said, this whole thing is not designed to be seen with lights on. The little world we're going to build, it's designed to be dark in there. So we can give up this really cool look to it. And everything in there is all installed with black lights. There's black light wiring through this. Just going to put a LED EL wire through here so all this lights up nicely. That's how our lake came out. We're not done with that yet. We have to put a silicone over top of that. But we want it to glow right through the silicone. Before we can put the silicone in, I got to get a special UV powder because I want to put a concentrated powder over top of that to get that effect to trigger off. I ordered a light bulb, black light, so I can work sometimes with the lights out. dark too. So put a color back there. Grab a little purple. Yeah, to highlight is always red. lot, just a little bit. Just give it a nice little pop. Back with a little bit of blue highlight. Kind of a nice enchanted glow. Excuse me. We got quite a bit left over, so we can use that for some of the PC behind us. I'll do that later on. I got some business I got to take care of, but I want to get this out of the way. I'm going to hit this with a black light, or actually glow in the dark. It's a little bit of light. This is the trigger automatically. We don't get much light there. Lighting will happen here. figure this out quite nicely. So the flowers have a real nice glow to them. It's all done with a simple fan brush. See the nice blend we have in here with the ocean. The ocean has a nice glow to it. Okay. And you said castles already. Our cottage is already glowing. Pink. Ooh, did I forget to do those windows? Yeah, we forgot to do those windows. Those windows will be done. Windows. And that's why we got the deck. Put a nice glow to it. And let me see. Make sure those shingles came up nicely. Cool. So all this is going to be in the dark, and we need all this to glow. There's our chimney right there. That should dry pretty quick over there. That's what it looks like all put together. Now we're going to have lights inside the building. That's why I haven't put the floor on yet. So these lights will actually push light right through. If we were to that's how it's going to look when we put the lights on the inside. That's how they're going to light up. We have some light around the door, from the crack of the door. That's why I lift the door up just a little bit, so that way any light, well actually the door lifts it up a little bit, but the panel behind it that allows the light to push through it, and I'm going to bring this back some, basically leaves a little crack of light that pushes on the corner of the door and underneath of to get more realistic effect. So the balcony glowing on the top, and then right here the window right here, and then let's go over to our moon window. And the moon window, because we had to cut a hole up top to put the moon window in. See, there you go. Easy build, put together. But, you know, it's interesting because, as I said before, you have your do-it-yourselfers, and then you have people at the end of the day who don't want to put the whole thing together, and they'd rather pay you to do it. And that's where we stand at right now with the castle. Castle is interesting. Castle may be big. I think the castle's going to be huge, because again, for everything we got to put in there, it'd be virtually impossible to make it that size. So for the one I'm building for my friend, it's actually on the size of one of these screens. It's 36 by 24. The dragon's really big, so it's going to be interesting. We put that whole thing together, so he can't wait. And when he sees this, how this lights up, he's like, "Oh my God!" He's going to be so excited. But this is what I saw in my head. So what we're going to do is, once we put the little box and everything around it, we're going to make it all glow in the dark on the inside, and it's going to look like a nighttime effect. But with the screen, and the reason we need the screen, because we need fairies, we need lightning bugs, we need all that stuff, and we need to look realistic. So that's what it's going to have a screen in front of it, so you can see all that when everything else lighting inside. This one looks so cool. I can't wait. Yeah, we got it. So all this from scratch. Looks like something that you would, in Fable, like you would run across something in the distance, an Easter egg. Yeah, it's gonna let me put the light over top of it. So we still got to put in a cloud system. I need a cloud system in the background. Four corners, one on this side, one on this side, in the back, have scenery on them. So this one has a lot of trees on this scenery on this side. This one has the lake that continue on from here. It's out on this side. You see boats and stuff on this side. And then in the background, we're going to have some trees that are going to push over the back of the house. And you're going to be to see another house, another window push through. But I give it a more of kind of like a painting where some of the objects stand through, like they're standing out, and the ones are actually already flat in the back. So that's going to look other villages in the back of the countryside. So that's how we're going to be doing the sides. Over top, we're going to be putting in the stars and LED lighting and all that stuff, and then tracing EL wire through all this fires off. So it's going to look pretty cool when we get done. And camouflage everything with that. And having that light in the inside will allow these little pockets here to just glow. Light will push right through here. So I want all this to light up, but I want it to be dark in these areas down here, so this highlights the windows. That moon window is going to look incredible. So, yeah. It took me what? I think maybe I had to check my videos on how many we did, how long it took us to get it done, how many hours it put in to put the whole thing together. I'm going to do the floor now. I had the floor at the paint, but we can't do the floor yet until we put all the lighting inside. And yeah, from judging from what I've seen from the windows, we're not going to have to paint the inside, because the windows are really fluorescent. They're really glowing in the dark in there. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see something for a minute. Let me get some pictures of this. I'm sending it over to my friend, because he says the minute you get some pictures of it, show me. I gotta see this. He's gonna show his wife. She wants to put a request. She wants something for the kids' room. It's gonna be in the kids' room. We're definitely gonna put it in a glass box. I mean, a plastic box, so we can only get access to the top. I think we're gonna do something like that for them. But I wanted to see how that lake is glowing. Yeah, that lake is glowing. Exactly, it's glowing. Yeah. So what we're going to do to get the lake to fire up even higher, we're going to run LED lights underneath the deck. So got to do it in a way that there's not light shining off the deck, but it's actually light coming from the lake. So that's why we're going to put in this high fluorescent powder crystal into the lake, a UV crystal into the lake when we put the poly through. So can't do the poly on the lake until we finish the lighting inside. So I have to order lighting inside. See, we started building this thing, and people look at it and go, "Oh, that's not going to turn into anything." See, got to be to think outside the box. You got to think outside the box, so to speak. Now we got a whole new venture of buildings we can build, a whole new different worlds we can put together. I definitely want to do that minecart thing now. I'm going to think about that. I definitely want to do the minecart. Another Trolls, but the elves and the minecart, I definitely want to build that now. That is going to be sick. This is our floor right here. So I'm going to get our floor coated with some paint, which I doubt you're going to be to see, but whatever, you know what I mean? If it highlights what's going on in there, you know, that's our floor. I'm going to do my floor, and is that a pink? I'm doing my floor in pink. Pink floor. There's so many business ventures. We got those PCs behind us. The flower ones are the ones that are more demanded. Those flower PCs. So we got those. We're going to be working on for a company for that, and then we got this right here now, because this started something I wasn't planning to do anything like this. I was planning to put a basic, simple house to test the screen on, and you know how things work at me at the end of the day. We can never do anything normal. Now we got to do something like way outside the box. All right, that's cool. Got our floor down right here, but you're not going to see this anyway. We can't put this in until we get the electrical form finished. Until we finish the and I got it right on there, Lucky Lake. Lucky Lake, people. Lucky Lake. What can't you do? Whatever the Lord tells us we can't do, we can't do. But until then, I pray and ask Him how to help me go about building and designing all this, and He gives us direction on how to do it. The Lord don't like it when people think at the end of the day that His Christians at the end of the day are liars, scammers, and thieves. He don't like that. So that's why He comes in, He represents. So they can get on their channel, they can cry all they want about technology. Technology is going places. I already got like an advertising company, which I got to do a demonstration on that. Oh, that's the screen paint of yesterday. Look how smooth that thing went on. Yeah, it's the customer's paint going one over. We're going to call this the customer screen, or what we're going to call it, but I'm using that thing everywhere. I've got some demonstrations I'm going to do downstairs on it. But yeah, Lord will represent. Lord's not going to allow His people to be called liars and thieves. He's not going to have that. And for those who feel they need to do that, there are consequences behind it. Reading your Bible, the consequences of prosecuting a Christian will come behind that one. But anyway, He's not going to allow it. What kind of Lord would He be if you got somebody at the end of the day that has your back? He claims He has your back, and He constantly lets you down all the time, all the time, all the time. Would you trust that person? No, you wouldn't trust that person. That's why we trust in the Lord. The Lord never lets us down. Never lets us down. Never lets us down. So if I'm going to sit out there and tell and put it in His name, give Him all the glory, and say all that we have comes from Him, and give Him the glory, do you think He's going to allow someone to come in there and make His glory look tainted? Make His glory look like it's false? He's not going to do that. If you are a true Christian and you're doing the right thing by God, and you announce that in God's name and give Him the glory, and if you're doing it the right way, then the Lord will give you that glory right back, and He will show the world who you are and who you represent. Now, they're angry and mad because I sat there and I put myself right out there. Can you do that? You can't, because you follow the devil. But I did it. I went over in that corner and I sat there and made that statement to the world. We have a technology that reads outside. I can literally take that invisible screen under my desk and go outside and watch a movie on it at 300 lumens, which I can't even process that. It's still hard for me to process that. So the Lord makes Himself known at the end of the day, and that's what He does. He's going to allow His Christians to be made fools of. And in the Bible, if you read it, all those Apostle Paul and David and all them, He didn't make them look like fools at the end of the day. If they represent God and they were doing things the right way, guess what? The Lord was going to make them victorious. David, an amazing warrior. His armies went out with God. They won every single war. Noah, look at him at the end of the day. He built an entire ark, big enough to basically house massive animals and people. And then you got Moses. Moses was told to go down and basically challenge a king. It's Moses by himself. No army, nothing. You know, walk into a king's kingdom. You know, go before me, and you're going to ask me, give me a command. He could have been killed right there on the spot, but he couldn't touch him. Couldn't touch him at all. Couldn't do a thing to him. So imagine if we couldn't trust in God, and He walked into His kingdom, just Him by Himself, and God. Well, actually, not by Himself, Him and God, but He had no armies with Him, and He demanded for Him to let His people go. And He laughed at him at the end, like, who is you? Who is your God at the end of the day? We got gods with an S. That didn't go well, did it? No, it didn't go well. So It'd be horrible if he went in there and he demanded and he got a spear put in shit and Moses was killed. Now, would you trust God after that? Like, oh, what in the world? Like, why would I? Why? That's crazy. Why would I even trust in God if He allowed Moses to walk in there and they killed him? But it didn't happen that way. The king was killed. So there you go. That tells you right there. That's why when I sit there and make that announcement about how we can basically walk into any courtroom we want, it don't make a difference. I don't care where it's at. And we can put up money we don't even have. And I guarantee you, bar none, we will win every single one. See? Let me see. The yellow window over there. Was it yellow window? We did the floor. It was a yellow window you're supposed to redo. It's the yellow windows right there. We got the yellow window. Put more highlights on the yellow window. Yeah, it was yellow. It was definitely yellow. All right, let's come out this. The yellow in. So that's what makes them angry at them today. People follow Satan. That's what makes them angry today. Because they can't shake me. And they expect, no, you can't shake me. You're putting harm on your head at the end of the day. You're putting hot coals on your head when you do stuff like that. And I warn you over and over again. I give you fair warning, but you don't listen. Do we have enough in here? How much should we use? Oh, we used a lot of yellow. Jeez. I think we went through all our freaking yellow. We're going to have to order more paint gel. Something quick. All right, we're good. We just order some more. That's all. Cool. I could do my windows in red. Tell you the truth, honestly. That would set up with the door real nice. We got red around it. So how about we do? Because I need that door to be a little different. How about we do some green? We do some green in there. Some green. I'm gonna do green for the doorknob. Yeah. Okay. That I do like. I like it. I like it a lot. Somebody was like, you do like color? Yeah, I do like color. I do. I do like a lot of beautiful color. Alright, let me see. Alright, all that's finished, done. Our brush is in here. We got another box we can use for something. I'm gonna get me a shop. We're gonna get me a shop for wood. And we can build all that out of wood. Same thing. All out of wood. Same thing. But I'm gonna wait till I get my shop. So that way I can do demonstrations on basically how to build with wood. I got some people who like what we done here, and we got other people who don't, and we got other people who are just mad. I got a message for you people that are just angry for the sake of just being angry. So every time you see me come on here and do something, you get even angrier. You better find God. You already found the devil. He found you. So you better find God. You don't know how much time you have. You could have today, you could have tomorrow. You don't have to wake up the next day. It's not guaranteed to wake up the next day. Who says you wake up the next day? Who said that? Who said that you're guaranteed to wake up the next day? Who? You? You don't even know your own fate at the end of the day. You don't even know how you're going to go out, how you're going to pass off this earth. So how would you even know if you're going to wake up the next day? You don't have that promise. You don't know how you're going to die on this earth. Everybody's going to go out in a certain way on this earth. You don't know how you're going to pass off this earth. It could be car accident, it could be a number of things you can go. You're going to leave one way or another. You're going off the earth. So if you don't know 100% how you're going to leave off this earth, then how are you going to promise yourself tomorrow? It's God willingly, I will be to do this. God willingly, I'll be to do that. I used to have a habit saying, I'll be here tomorrow, I'll be here tomorrow. I got to train myself to say, God willingly. Because you don't know when. You can walk out the door and go to lunch and not come back. There's a number of ways you can leave off this earth. That's why for those of you that are following the devil at the end of the day, you have upped your chances of leaving there faster than those who serve God at the end of the day, because you're protected by Satan. You're protected against Satan. A demon can sit there and have a car jump off a curb and hit you and take you out. But for me, an angel will be sitting there waiting for that to happen. I've seen that actually happen a couple of times when I was doing my daily walk and talk. I think the car could have jumped the curb and could have killed me, but the car went in a different direction. That's my Lord protected. You see it as an accident of the day. Christians see it differently. We see it as the devil working to try to get rid of as many people as he possibly can, because he needs people to fight in the battle of Armageddon. And if that dampens you, if that makes you sad in the day, for me to talk this way, then that means you're not saved. Because anyone who hears it today that's saved, they guarantee you, they basically agree with me 100%. But this is something that basically bothers you and you don't want to hear it, because if it dampens your day, then you already told yourself in the door you're not ready. So my mother used to tell me that, talk about the Lord all the time, and I used to go, Mom, I don't want to hear it, man. I got things to do. I don't really want to think about that right now. Yeah, I was already condemned. I was condemned already. Yep. You already answered your own question. Seek and find God. God. Seek and find God. Here's the form I gotta fill out. I'll drop this off right now. Alright people, hope you enjoyed our magical setup here. And yes, for those of you, I want to talk about the Lord, I am. I'm going to speak about the Lord, I'm going to talk about the Lord all day long. And you know why I'm going to talk about him? Because it's very important that I do talk about it. It's very important that people understand that he is trying to save you, and the devil is trying to kill you. At any cost necessary, he's going to try to get it done. And you need to find God. You do. So, I'm going to keep talking about this the day I pass off this earth. Alright, with that being said, hope you enjoyed. I gotta go, and God bless. Oh, of course we thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for blessing us with the ability to do this, because without him, none of this would ever be possible. Alright.